Frank, how are you feeling on Supergirl right now at this moment in February 2026? What are your thoughts on the Supergirl movie?
Cautiously optimistic. I mean, like it is the trailer looks quite good. The buzz around it has been really, really good. I think obviously we're coming spinning out of a very successful Superman movie that I very much enjoyed. So, all signs are pointing up. I have seen nothing that concerns me or disappoints me so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
What about you?
I avoided the Super Bowl trailer because I think I'm going to try to go in spoiler free as much as I can.
I also avoided the Super Bowl trailer. I think I'm done with trailers for this one for, if I catch something on TV, sure, but like no, I managed to miss that one. And yeah, I'm just not going to seek out any more trailers for this and try to go in as clean as I can.
I think I was a little bit higher on Superman going into it. Number one, because of Superman, but number two, because of James Gunn. That was like what was really propping me up and giving me a ton. On Supergirl, I'm just, I would say like a percentage point less enthusiastic than I was, just because James Gunn is off now working on Man of Tomorrow, and he's got his mind on other things. I'm hoping this addition of Lobo and what they're going to change for the screen is going to make it something special. But yeah, I'm like you, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good place to be.
Yes.
That is a good place to be. And like, I look forward to seeing what they have in store for us.
Yeah. Especially after what we came off of from the previous DC, going into movies like Aquaman 2 or Dawn of whatever, Batman v Superman, like all those things. We've had years of, I felt like, underwhelming DC films. And I think with the era that we're in right now, I am a lot more cautiously optimistic. A great way to phrase it, Frank. And a great man to have on this month in Superman. I am your host, Vactor. I'm here with the Beer with Geeks. I should say the 0.5, one half of Beer with Geeks, Mr. Frank Ramblings. Frank, you are a delight and a joy. I'm always happy to have you, sir. Actually, I wanted to get also a health check. How are you feeling, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. That pesky appendix is gone, and I'm doing a lot better.
Excellent. I'm very happy to see you when you are 100% fully healthy. I'm glad to hear that Frank is back with us. Mr. Tim Tangent, the other half of the Beer with Geeks, is not here with us, but we are going to, in his place, talk about the books that we thought were the best comics in the month of January 2026. Tim's pick, since he's not here, I will just say, is Superman issue number 34, which there's no notes from me on both Action and Superman have been just every month fantastic. Like, I have no notes on those. Like, we could pick those every month. Like, I would not feel bad any of those months. So I think once again,
I feel like
Tim
I've gone back and forth over the months, having both of those be my picks. They've been in recent months have been very, very strong and very consistent, and the stories that are going on in both of those books are really fun. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Superman 34 was a good read. Particularly enjoyed the some of the Superboy Prime stuff, of course. But yeah, I thought it was a good read all around.
Yes, another DCKO tie-in. We're having some great stuff with DCKO.
Yeah,
every month. With this month, we're talking about January. DCKO number 3 came out, and at the end of DCKO number 3, we saw a teaser for the absolute Superman and the main Superman, the Superman Prime, mixing the chocolate and the peanut butter. So what is going to happen? A great tie-in. And then we have these little tie-ins for DCKO that have been, I think, all of them have been fantastic, and they've actually been getting me to read books that I wasn't reading because they have the DCKO banner on the top. Did you have a chance? The one that I really wanted to talk about real quick was The Kids Are All Fight.
You know what?
DCKO
No,
tie-in?
I didn't read The Kids Are All Fight, but I'm actually regretting it because I saw the preview that was at the end of Justice League Unlimited and really enjoyed that. So I think I may go back and catch up on that for before next month because it was actually a fun preview.
Yeah, Night Fight has been my favorite out of all the DCKO tie-ins, but the Kids Are All Fight was a one-shot special. And
One shot, okay.
it's basically like I feel like it's a backdoor pilot for this team. It's like the Teen Titans 2.0 almost. Like they're the children and sidekicks of a lot of the main superheroes. John Kent being our super tie-in, why we're talking about it on this show. And he's kind of thrust into the leadership role, and all these like chaotic things are happening. It feels like Adventures in Babysitting, and there's all kind of stuff that, man, Jeremy Adams was a writer on it, and he threw in a ton of super fun stuff. They have to all fight Granny Goodness, and I just loved all of it. Bruno Redondo did the cover, who was one of my favorite artists in comics. Travis Mercer did the interiors, but 100% recommend The Kids Are All Fight. And I hope that it leads to like an actual team book of these guys, because they're throwing in all of these, like Mr. Terrific's son and Jay Garrick's daughter, like all of these
I saw Jay
legacy
Garrick.
characters.
Yeah, that's so, it's so, honestly, just those first couple of pages of it, I was feeling like I want a cartoon show of this. Like, I would watch this as a show.
100%.
Yeah,
Man,
love it.
I cannot wait. I loved seeing the absolute Superman in DCKO number 3. I think for my pick of the best Superman book that came out in January of 2026, Salute Superman, issue number 15, was astounding. And I text you and Tim. We have a super chat that we have on the side. And I think this is the single best issue of Absolute Superman that has come out so far. I think it is the start of kind of like a new storyline. And like we've got the initial arc out of the way and the setup and the premise of who this Absolute Superman is. This version of Clark that grew up on Krypton and then comes over to Earth. That one twist, that one change, and also his suit is AI, and there's some cool stuff with that. But I think the main thing that makes this like the butterfly effect and what is different about this Superman and this Clark versus every other version that we've gotten is that he was allowed to grow up a little bit on Krypton, and almost like Kara, like Supergirl.
True, yeah.
That they're coming over older, and so his morals, like he does get a little bit from Jonathan and Martha, but not as like what we know, the traditional Clark. 100%, I feel like who he is because of the Kents. And so when he doesn't have that, what is he? And you see he's still a hero. He's still someone to look up to and inspire us with hope. And I feel like with this issue, he's really feeling like Superman to me. The other books, I felt like he was a little bit, or the other issues, I should say, he felt a little like, not immature, but he just felt like he was angry and almost like the Raphael of the group.
Yeah,
and
yes.
Like angst, anguish. Like this now is starting to feel like this is Superman to me. Like the way he cares about everyone and he wants to save everyone. I just thought this single issue and the way that he's trying to like, dang, now I'm blanking on the word, but with Rachel Gould in the prison trying to get him back to, this is someone who could go back into society and there's still good in him, basically.
Rehabilitates.
Yes, rehabilitate. I don't know why
Yeah.
my brain completely blanked on that. But seeing that was like, yeah, that's Superman. That's who I love. So I really dug this issue. What did you think about Superman, Absolute Superman issue number 15?
I completely agree. I loved seeing him try to like wear down Ra's al Ghul and like to being a decent person. I loved that. I was really struck by the opening, the Winslow shot, terrifying Winslow shot into being good, scaring the crap out of him to reform him. I actually really I felt like it was a really I feel like I don't often like anger coming from Superman unless it's done very purposefully.
Yes.
And very pointedly or for a reason or at least aimed in the right direction.
Yes.
And what I really liked about that Winslow shot opener was it felt very Action Comics #1, sort of like going after the like pick on someone your own size. Or you're going to have to answer to me. That was very much the vibe I was getting from that. I was saying this to somebody else a few days ago. Like, one of the things that I think Superman is so great at is sort of the mundaneness of getting involved in like everyday human problems and telling a bully like, no, you don't get to feel like the big guy. Like, cut that out and go pick on somebody your own size. And I feel like that was the spirit of this a little bit. So I dug that. I really dug that.
Yeah. And that was, I think, with the New 52, what Grant Morrison tried to do a little bit with his, was he on Action or Superman? Now I'm blanking. But
I think he was on Action.
When Grant Morrison was writing Superman, it was the leader, like the hero of the downtrodden or the oppressed, and going after wife beaters and bank robbers, like the street level crime.
Right.
And that was what, like you said, Action Comics #1, that's who he was going after. It wasn't as sci-fi. It wasn't as out there. And I felt that, like you said, with the Winslow shot, Toyman, like, you don't get, that's just not the way that we're going to behave here on Earth. And this feels right to me. Like, that whole thing, 100% felt like Superman to me.
Like, at the core of it, like, I think it is the absolute version of that. Like, it is darker and has more of an edge to it, but like, he is, like you said, he is becoming closer to classic Superman. Like, but he's getting to that destination from a different direction.
Yes.
And so that comes with different trade-offs or whatever, but like, it's so interesting to see him coming to the same place. Just like, instead of coming to it from here, from the Kent side, he's coming to it from this side.
Yes.
Fascinating, like, character study.
Right. 100%. That's what I've loved about the whole Absolute universe. The whole idea of it's powered on dark side energy rather than, let's say, Superman energy. It's like the flip side of what we know. And it's been fascinating to see all these characters that we have grown up with and we know from a certain, like you said, from one vantage point and one way that we get into these characters, seeing them from the opposite side. And some characters are villains. And we saw the Absolute Hawkman in this issue. And he's only teased in this issue. We see a lot more of him in the next issue. But he also is like not the Hawkman that we are accustomed to, like the one that we know. And it's very interesting to see the changes made to the character. And then the final kind of closing, we see Brainiac going into, they say, somewhere in Missouri, which is, I believe, Jason Aaron is from Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool to see him writing this farm boy and these places that he grew up on. We see Brainiac coming up to a house with Luthor on the mailbox, and what is going to be in store? Man, what a great cliffhanger for the next issue.
Good cliffhanger. good, solid cliffhanger. And by the way, I have to say one small thing that I noticed, and this must be, I'll have to go back and check on this, but the Kent farm that we saw in this issue was absolutely the farm from Smallville. Like it is modeled after that farm specifically. The barn and the house look to me like they are modeled after that barn and that house.
Yep.
So I have to now go back and or just like flip through the earlier issues and see has that been consistent the whole time? Because I only just caught it this time. I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's intentional that it has been consistent. But yeah, that was a fun thing to notice.
Yes. So my pick of the month, Absolute Superman number 15. Highly recommend. Frank, if you had one pick that was an Absolute Superman for this month, what would you pick, sir?
I really enjoyed Superman Unlimited number 9 this month. I found this story, so like there's the whole prankster thing, sure, but I really enjoyed this. Felt like a very classic Superman and supporting cast type of story, with even with Perry White being the mayor and not being the editor and whatnot. Even the brief interaction that they had, Mayor White, Clark Kent, Daily Planet. Kent, I was at your wedding. I know who you are.
That page, I didn't want to spoil you. When I read that, I immediately wanted to text you that page.
So good.
That was a great panel. I loved it.
Man, it was excellent. Yeah. So I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Superman saving the day, like from the falling statue, like again, these sort of the mundane things, the very like real world things, I find a lot of joy in. I like the cosmic stuff, the KO stuff. Like I've enjoyed KO way more than I expected to enjoy this event.
Me too.
It has been far exceeded my expectations, tie-ins included.
Yes.
But at the same time, I really appreciate the simplicity of we got to save him from the falling statue. The key is made of kryptonite. Oh no. Like that is just so classic. It's very, I want to say, elevated Silver Age.
Yeah. Yeah. Great way of saying it. Yes.
I think I'm really, I haven't found Slott's writing to be super consistent yet, but when I'm enjoying it, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I wish it was a bit more consistent from issue to issue, but when I'm enjoying it, I'm super enjoying it. And this one was a good one.
Yeah, I think I'm also like you, because going into Superman Unlimited, Dan Slott is one of my favorite Spider-Man writers of all time. And I had very high expectations for Superman Unlimited. Not only has the storytelling been inconsistent for me, the art has been inconsistent for me 100%, where from issue to issue it's just up and down. And I felt like this one, Mike Norton was on the art. I really enjoyed it the entire time. It felt like a solid, almost like an animated series.
Sure.
And that Silver Age, like you said, the elevated Silver Age-ness of it, I felt like even what James Gunn did with the Superman movie was take that sensibility of, we know that these are comic book characters. We know that there is some inherent silliness to this, but it can still be treated with respect and not just for kids, not just a throwaway, disposable pulp thing. It can be entertaining art. It can be an uplifted, elevated version of the Silver Age, but without the Silver Age storytelling sensibilities. And I feel like there is a time and a place for that type of storytelling. Had a specific, time period when it came out. It is very of that time. Same way with movies that came out of that time. You look at them today and you could see certain elements, but the storytelling tropes and framework is different today. Sometimes it feels a slower pace versus what, we have more of a faster pace today. So with the Silver Age comics, I often find dialogue hard to read and get into.
Yes. They can be very wordy, right? It's just, it's a lot of reading. It's too much. Yeah. But
I feel like you said, this is an issue where Superman goes to a baseball game and stops 100 baseballs from hitting and shoots them with his laser eyes. Like, this is a silly concept inherently. But it was fun in this context and this story with this art and with this creative team. So I think I was with you as well. This is one of those higher moments on the Superman Unlimited journey that we've been on so far. And there's like, it makes me excited again, where I think I was on a little bit of a downward slope for Superman Unlimited. This one kind of got my, hey, I'm having fun again on this one. So yeah, it has been also very up and down for me as well. And I want to see, when it's all said and done, are we going to look back on Dan Slott's run on Superman and say, you know, there was a couple ups and downs in there, but overall, I had a good time. I'm very curious. Or are we going to say, man, he just didn't, you know, he just never found his footing. And I wish he would have had a more consistent run over the course of his tenure on Superman. So it's going to be very interesting to look back on Unlimited as a whole, because I don't know if he's going to have another series. Like, this might be his only time writing Superman.
Sure.
So
yeah,
this will be very
it's
interesting.
I feel like, you know, I feel similarly to you about his Spider-Man work. And another great Spider-Man writer who I know we both love is Bendis. And
yes,
you know, when he came to Superman, I was similarly very excited.
Yes.
And my expectations were maybe a little too high. I don't think it was also up and down. And on the whole, I thought it was just kind of okay. There were some great stories in there, but it's just sort of okay. Not quite what I had built up in my mind. And so this time around, I have been a little bit more measured. And so I'm less disappointed by the fact that it's inconsistent, but I'm still wishing it wasn't inconsistent.
Yeah.
So where we are here at issue 9, and like, feels like it's a good moment. I'm like I hope the momentum continues from here, and that like we do look back and say like, yeah, it was off to a rough start, but man, did it really, you know, did his work really take off after that on Superman?
Yes, I'm very curious to see how that lands. But also next month, February, which we are actually, as we record this, we're already into the second week of February. Yeah. There's already some really good stuff. Just as a real quick tease.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to pick up the DC KO boss battle issue?
No, I haven't read any February books yet.
Okay. I would, just going off of that Silver Age silliness.
Yeah.
Well, actually, do you know the premise of boss battle?
No.
Okay. So boss battle is, they're taking everyone who's lost so far in KO and throwing them into a different universe. And it's not just DC. So Annabelle, the doll Annabelle from the horror movie Annabelle, appears alongside the Joker. And so how do they interact? The Mortal Kombat characters, Homelander from The Boys and Superman meet. So
wow.
They're just throwing everything up against the wall. And it is, I would say, as fun as that premise sounds. I felt like they stuck the landing on that. So as a little tease, DCKO boss battle was a ton of fun.
That sounds incredibly fun. Yeah, I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna have to read that. That's so good.
Yes.
Wow.
Frank, I really appreciate you coming on, talking to me about all the books that we loved in the month of January.
I get to talk about all the great books with you. This is my, the pleasure is all mine. So much fun.
I think you are the bee's knees, Frank. I am your Jimmy Olsen. You are my Superman. Whenever your signal watch goes off, I will be there. Always love everything that you do and put out on the internet, my friend. You're doing some great stuff at Beer with Geeks. As we talked about, your cohort, Tim Tangent, is not here, but anything to tease on Beer with Geeks?
Yes. Beerwithgeeks.com is the place to get it. Look out for, if you're a Star Trek fan, we have an episode coming up where we did a tier list and we ranked all of the Star Trek Starfleet uniforms from the various series.
Nice.
So, you know, Tim famously loves costumes, so I just thought we would do something that leaned into his passion.
That is fantastic. I'm also still loving all of your Beatles content that you've been putting out, Frank. Anyone who is a Beatles fan, whether you have a little bit of Beatles in you or a ton of Beatles in you, you will love everything that Frank is putting out right now. I don't know if there's anything specific you have to tease, Frank, but I'm loving everything you're doing on TikTok and YouTube.
Thanks. Just that I'm working on this course where I'm going to be teaching about the sort of the middle period of the Beatles and how they totally transformed in this crazy 18-month period. I've had a couple of shooting days so far, and I've recorded a good chunk of the course, and hoping to finish that up soon and put it out there for everyone. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, check out Frank Ramblings everywhere: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and you'll find my Beatle nonsense all over.
You are never nonsensical to me, Frank. You always make sense, and I always love everything that you do. But before we go, I just want to tell everyone thank you very much for checking out this month in Superman. We've been doing this for a year. I can't believe it. The year went by so quickly, but I'm still having just as much fun doing this show now as I did a year ago.
Absolutely.
I thank everyone who's been involved, Tim, Frank, everyone who has watched, and we will continue to talk about our favorite Boy Scout in Blue, because 2026, I think, is going to be another great year for Superman, as was 2025. So
yeah.
I am Vactor on behalf of my Beer with Geeks brethren, Tim and Frank. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and stay super, everyone.